Hey, this is second posting for the new year. Uh, I get a chance to work with a lot of people learning guitar, and it there's always this transition period where it's really hard from just learning the basic things and then sort of applying them to music. And it's a hard thing to figure out, like, well, how do you get from point A to point B? I think one of the things that most people don't get a chance to see is what kind of happens behind the scenes from point A to point B. And I just want to take just a minute to kind of maybe help some people out who are kind of in that period, sort of a thought process, if nothing else. So this isn't really a technical lesson. I may show a couple things in what I'm doing right now to sort of reinforce that. See, the formula or the way it happens never really changes from year to year to year. You get really good at playing certain things, but the very minute you take on something new that's outside of the scope of what you do, you're kind of instantly stupid again. It's kind of amazing how it works out. I'll give you a good example. Something that I'm working on right now is I'll hold this up and see if you can see it. This is tablature. There you go. And it's a transition lick from Doug Seven, who happens to be one of the great guitar players that I try to learn from. But what you'll see in this is that Doug Seven gives you the tab, and on his if you go to sizzlingguitarlicks.com, his website, you can buy any of his material. It's pretty advanced stuff. And what happens for me is I take like one thing that he does, and then it takes me a week or 2 weeks to even get the concepts down. The transition lick that I just showed you, that tab, actually sounds like this. I'll play it really slow. See, I messed it up already. Let's try it again. Would take you to that chord. Learning this, there's a whole bunch of new concepts for me. There's this notion of diminished chords. They're kind of chords that repeat themselves every three frets. But he incorporates these to get from one chord to the next chord. That's new for me. My mind doesn't think in those terms, and because of that, I instantly have to slow things way down. So when I started to learn this lick, I learned it 5-6 notes at a time. So. And then I would add a couple more notes to it. Then add and that's that diminished chord. Then up to the next diminished chord. And then he does these. Something like that. But the idea is that when you're playing it, to get to that point where you feel like you're getting comfortable with it, you just keep playing it and playing it and playing it and playing it. So I sit with a guitar that's not plugged in. If I'm watching a TV show, I sit there and play it and just keep going over that. So again, I talk a lot about motor memory, but it really is true that it takes a while to train your fingers and your brain to do things that's really not used to doing. So anyway, just kind of take this example as a sort of a thought process for learning things. Don't be discouraged when you're learning something new, because you really have to slow things down a lot and get into the just practice time and time again. I mean, that's no different than martial arts training or anything else, where you just, you throw a punch 500 times to perfect the way that you're doing it. The same is true for your guitar playing. So stick with it, and as we continue to learn together, no matter what point you're at, and some of you are way ahead of me, and some of you are catching up or just beginning. The idea is that if we can share all this stuff together, maybe we'll all be better for it. So hope you enjoyed this. Thanks.